Steve Carlton. I grew up outside of Philadelphia and had the good fortune of playing with Steve Carlton, or not playing with, watching Steve Carlton play. And obviously that was in the 70s and 80s. And you know, he was just a very dominating pitcher. He was left-handed, I'm left-handed, so I think that was the immediate correlation. But you know, I grew up watching him, and you know, you could see him every fifth day, sometimes every fourth day, pitch. And when I was in college, I had the good fortune of meeting Steve. And the ironic thing was my first major league start was against Steve Carlton. So, I mean, come full circle, it's kind of weird, but it's pretty cool. Oh, it was, for me, I was probably, I want to say 12-ish. I remember just a big red brick building. You know, you see the Hall of Famers on the wall. That, you know, that's pretty cool. You know, and just the way, I think to me, just how everything is presented. It's very clean. It's very well lit. Everywhere you turn, there's a piece of baseball history. For anybody that's maybe just starting to learn about the history of the game, or somebody that's deeply involved with the history of the game, I think it's a place that you can learn a lot about the history of the game. And you know, for me also, I think memories that I have of being there, you try to take yourself back into the situations of where maybe some of these players have played in yesteryear, and thinking, wow, I wonder what it was like. I wonder what he was, you know, if you're looking at an individual thing, I wonder what he was like as a person or a player. Boy, he was a great pitcher, he was a great hitter. You know, for some of the players, we know a lot about that. But you know, especially now being a player, you know, your teammates you get to see in the clubhouse, and you see them off the field, you see them on the field, and I think that would be, you know, if I could go back in time, I think that would be the one of the neat things to be able to see in the differences of today's game in comparison to yesteryear. Actually, back in the mid-90s, I finished my college degree, and one of my classes, I was able to write a paper on the history of baseball, or not necessarily the history of baseball, but baseball of that period and back into the 40s and 50s. And it was real interesting doing some research, you know, simple research. I didn't get overly involved with it, but making that comparison, and actually I interviewed Johnny Pesky for the paper, and Jerome Holtzman. So, you know, I was able to add some people who were alive at the time to be able to, you know, give me their input to how they viewed the game then and currently. The Hall of Fame is a great place. It's a special place, and I've had the good fortune of going there as a child or as a young boy. Unfortunately, haven't been back other than for the Hall of Fame game. I think I would enjoy it more going back to the Hall of Fame now as a player, and relishing on, you know, the things that are there in the history of the game. But it's you people at the Hall of Fame have done a great job of preserving the history of the game and presenting the history of the game to many great fans.